What is going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the PREDCAST episode. Windu, what episode is this one? 47. Windu, good job. All right. So, Windu, sorry you can't be here, man. Hopefully everything goes well with the new baby. I'm sure things will be fine, and you just got to get whatever medications needed to help figure things out. But thoughts and prayers go out to you and the fam, man. So take care of the fam. So, but this week we got a lot of stuff to actually talk about. We only got the three of us here because Windu obviously is not here, but he's in chat with us for at least until the 5% battery dies, and then he's no longer there. We'll know what happens. But so we got a lot to talk about. So let's do our introductions. Let's get that going, and then we'll start this off. So Benzo, F6, myself, in that order. Let's rock it out.
Yeah, what up, guys? I'm Pinzo. Stream daily over on twitch.tv/Pinzo, starting around 2 Eastern. I upload YouTube videos daily, youtube.com/Pinzo. You guys can find me on Pinzo on my socials. And we got some spicy stuff to talk about tonight. I'm actually pretty excited for this episode. I think it's going to be a banger. We got a lot of stuff to go over.
Agreed. There is a lot of stuff to talk about.
But meaty, the stuff that's there is meaty, you know.
For sure.
Dick, 3 C's. What's up? It's C16. I stream over on Twitch, kick sometimes whenever it feels like working. Also, I do some YouTube stuff, not as much as I want to, but enough, to still be alive. I also cast over at the PCC. And funny enough, there is a tournament going on. It's not the PCC, it's called the Fang Booth, but it's for the UK people over there. If you guys want to watch it this weekend, there's that. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one today.
There you go. All right. What's going on, everybody? I am the Beer Wolverine, your Michigan Wonder, and excited to bring this episode to you. Just like Pinzo said, it's going to get a little spicy for sure, and it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good one. I don't know if it's going to get like F6 spicy. Like, I don't know if we're going to get that far on the spice scale, but it's going to get spicy. So real quick, those guys, as you can tell, if you're the normal people that show up here on the lives, this is not our normal live time. We normally go live on Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the show will go on YouTube the next day, Thursday, around noon. So this time the show is going to go on YouTube Friday around noon. So if you're watching on there, again, appreciate all the support. But we had to make an adjustment for some stuff going on with our work lives and stuff like that outside of this. So we made that adjustment. We're here. Big news for next week. Wait, is it next week? 25th? What is today's date?
Yes, that's next week.
Yeah. So yeah, big news for next week. We have our GSAs coming back on the show. We're gonna be talking about the patch that will be dropping the day before that show. So make sure you come out here live so you can ask Ace some questions if he's able to answer them. Because he now has a Kick and he'll be able to watch while he's actually talking with us. Last time he was on with us, he didn't have a Kick account, so he was just going off of what we were saying. So that's going to be huge news there as well, getting Robbie back on here and to kind of talk about what we're going to be talking about. We'll be able to get a little more answers maybe out of that, so that'll be great. But so for those of you who don't know what Predcast is, this show is talking all about Predecessor. We will reference other MOBAs from time to time, but just to reference and to pull information from and to kind of use it as an example for some things. But we try to stay focused on Predecessor for the long part. And from there, but we try to bring in some devs occasionally. We'll bring in community members to let them voice their opinions on the games, and we're trying to help mold the game to what we want the game to be. So we use this as a platform to get that information out there. But you can see me stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on Kick, live on Kick. I'm horrible at YouTube videos, so I haven't been doing that stuff like I should be. But maybe one day I'll get back to it. Maybe I'll get some of that Pinzo juice going through me, and I'll be able to do videos every day or something. I don't know.
YouTube's important, man.
It is. I agree. All right, Steel Series. We don't need to worry about the updates. But let's get into this, guys. We now have a new hero that we can grind for. All right. And you guys have been gaming. How has the grind been going? Is it the exact same as the Seraph grind? Is that what it is, or is it different? I haven't been able to touch the game yet.
It's the same.
Exact same. Okay. All right.
I think it's a little bit different because you technically can't play Wraith when you can
True.
play Sereth. So like that's the only difference.
That's a good point. Good point.
It's the same length as
Yeah.
Sereth's.
Right.
For some reason I feel like it's faster. I don't know because I know they said
It's 5 tiers.
No. So I know they said in the patch, or I think it was the last one of the mid patch they updated. They said they fixed like the correct XP you get for it. So I felt like that made like a change to it because it feels like it's faster because it's like giving you the correct XP. But I could also be wrong. I don't know, but
I haven't looked at my progress at all, so I have no idea how far I am.
Yeah, I played like 3 games and like, or 3 or 4 games and was pretty much almost done with it. I was like, I only have to play one more. And I was like, that's actually a little bit faster than the Seraph one, but it's pretty much technically the same thing.
I wonder if maybe they did increase the increase the XP amount you get for something, maybe that, to kind of speed it up a little bit. That may have changed in that situation.
I feel like I've been getting like a tiny bit more XP. Like instead of 1,000 or 1,200, I feel like I've been getting 1,500, 1,700 for most of my games, which isn't like a crazy increase, but over 30 games to unlock a character, it adds up.
Right.
So.
All right. I am having issues with Zoom again. Go figure. So let me close this out real quick and go back into it. Sorry guys, excuse me.
All good.
I like how I'm just frozen with the weirdest face ever.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's not frozen with you, but it won't it won't change back and forth so like you can stay there and keep working, but like it's not working for everybody else. And apparently, I have like 12 Zoom things open in Task Manager. That's very weird. All right, yep. Stick with me, guys. Sorry.
I was gonna say, Omega unlock all abilities, but
That works.
I knew you were gonna like it because I was like, what would Pinzo say? I was like, yeah, that's probably
pretty funny.
Oh my gosh, dude. I literally can't stand it. All right, Windu, we got to figure something else about this. This is not going to work this way. So, all right. Sorry, guys. We're hopefully this will be better for us now. Doubt it, but hopefully it will be better. All right. So, all right. We're talking about the XP and the grind, and it might be a little bit increased. Might be, it might do better in that situation. But overall, we did get the Wraith video, right? So we got the Wraith hero announcement video. What were you guys' thoughts on the video?
I love it. I think this is probably their best video yet. I said this on the last hero reveal video, and I was like, this is tenfold better than what we got. So Steg's coming in, changing up the game. I feel like he's doing a really good job. I think like the community managers themselves are doing a really good job currently. And they knocked it out of the park.
Okay.
The video itself is very good. It is. My one thing that I kind of wish they would do, because obviously, so pretty much, I don't know, it's obvious to me, but the videos are clearly like kind of staged, right? Like where they just like let him get like 10 kills or whatever, and then run around the map and get some highlights or whatever. That's fine. Don't care so much about that.
Right.
I wish we would see some more like this video specifically. It wasn't as bad on the last, but this video specifically is literally just him executing with Vanquisher. It's just him walking around the map, right-clicking people and executing them with Vanquisher. And I just think the clips themselves are a tiny bit boring. Other than that, I think that the video itself is made well. They throw in a bunch of voice lines into the video. It's edited well. That's a plus. The actual clips, I think, are a little bit subpar from what they could be.
Right. Okay. I mean, I understand that. I did notice a lot of the video. I agree with you. A lot of the clips were literally just using the R&B. Like, he's like, all right, here you go. That's and it's like R&B and then R&B.
They're like, is the right click doing true damage? Like, why is it white numbers? And I'm like, no, that's Vanquisher. Like, he's just executing everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that's not it does not do true damage, you know?
So I do agree though, the video was great. I love how so Stegs has the team doing great work. Because like these hero release videos, now that we have Stegs, they're bringing the game to life. Like we having the voice lines in there, like the whole Drongo, like running down dual lane, and all of a sudden, like, huh? And then he turns and runs, and then he kind of he's like looking, he's like, well, wait a minute, and then he gets sniped. Like that whole, it brings the game to life. It made it an animation instead of just being a game. Like it's not just somebody controlling a character and doing what you want. So I really thought they did a great job on that. And going from there, I brought it down. I watched the clip down to 0.25 to see, like, I wanted to see what was happening, what abilities were being used, to really watch it. But I enjoyed the video. And Windu says, I loved how short and sweet it was. It gave us enough, but makes us want more and set up future vids. So, and I 100% agree with that, Windu. Windu, yes, go ask the nurse. They could probably, there's somebody there that'll help you with a charger, man. But Nerd Vibe says the trailer was great. I mean, I think a lot of people really enjoyed the video, are enjoying these hero release videos. I'm definitely interested to see the kit overview video, like when they do that. That's because I'm interested to see what they got going on, because there was something, his Q, I think it looked like he threw it onto Gideon at the very end before Richter ulted him, or as Richter was ulting him, like he threw something onto him, and I don't know what it was, but it's like that's not a normal Wraith ability from what I remember from OG Paragon and even being in PTO.
Yeah, it looks like a small AoE kind of like bomb, like a grenade, but it's like a little bit like a splash zone. It actually goes behind him and kind of misses a little bit, but
it still hits him.
It still hits him.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. But I think that's cool that they're adding something a little bit different, but definitely
it applied some kind of mark as well.
Right.
Like Gideon has like a little crosshair on him after it hits him.
MTG says it looks like a sticky grenade, and that I agree. That's kind of what I thought it was. It was like he threw it, and then it kind of like went to him, and it almost seemed like it had like blue sparks coming out of him. So I'm wondering if maybe it's something that would kind of like maybe do like I mean, could it be something that does mana drain? Would that be something you want as an ADC? I don't know, but it just kind of the little zappy lines that I got out of it just kind of made me think a couple different things that might be happening with it, and it could just be damage in general, but.
I think you're thinking a tiny bit too hard.
And it might be, but hey, that's what we're here for. We're able to sit here and speculate until we finally get a hero overview, the kit overview video. And
I'm thinking it's like a slow, or
you think it's a slow?
We're getting the kit overview tomorrow. Like,
I don't know.
I thought we usually got them on Thursdays.
Yeah, I thought we would have had it by now, because Friday is usually going to be your patch
notes.
And your patch. Yeah. Everything's going to be in the patch. So normally you get the video before you get the patch notes. Then you just everything you watched on the video is in the patch notes.
That's what I thought. I thought we were going to get like the actual kit breakdown today, and then we would get the full patch notes tomorrow. But I don't know.
Or maybe patch notes are going to be delayed till like Monday, and they're going to drop the video tomorrow. Maybe, I don't know.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying it's happening. I mean, it's patch notes coming out. 4 days before it actually goes live. It's not needed. Like,
and also last patch, the patch came out on a Thursday, so you know what? Maybe
Cool.
they're trying to rework the schedule.
Who knows?
Go live with post when
Somehow.
Predcast ends. Nah, they're sleeping. They're sleeping. Nobody's awake that runs that stuff over there. But yeah, I think I'm interested to see what the queue is, because I was saying beforehand when we were talking about Wraith, when it was the Invis hero that we were talking about, we were all talking about it being him or not being him or whatever. He only has his R&B as a damage besides his basic attacks. So I believe the Q is going to be something that's going to do a little bit of damage. It might be something as small like a Murdock mine, but it's something that you can still get damage from. And I think that would be going to be a beneficial thing for an ADC.
Yeah, he's also got the funky ward slot as well.
Yeah,
that's going to be interesting. I'm definitely interested how they're going to make that work.
I kind of wish they essentially, I don't know. I think they could have just gave him regular wards and make that an ability, and make his like wards just do something like a little bit more spectacular. But I would definitely have to see what his wards do first to really make an assumption.
Exactly what it is.
But
I like that they're willing to experiment with the ward slot. I think, obviously we don't have viable wards, so that is a slot that every character has, and it's going to be the same on the vast majority of characters. But the idea that they're willing to experiment a little with putting something else in the ward slot, I think is that's a good to go. I'm guessing it's mostly a normal ward, to be completely honest. I'm guessing it's mostly just a ward. But I mean, it opens up maybe the future we get something cooler in the ward slot,
Right.
I mean, even where the active is for your potions or smite, give them a chance to open it up to hero specific, maybe this guy gets a different potion,
like Baron Brew kind of thing. Yeah,
essentially.
You
play smite, and I was like, "Oh,
I'm a Baron Brew
yet."
Baron Brew, man.
His E looks like it's his invis from what I'm able to see, but there was one time he used it in the video, and it looked like he used it, and it gave him a speed boost, and he didn't go invisible. It almost looked like he went into a run, when he popped it towards the end there.
I'm assuming he gets movement speed from it. Otherwise, it would be a really bad ability.
So, I mean, because he doesn't go invisible, so it's like he popped it, cooldown goes on, but he goes into he's getting ready to do an R&B. It's right there in mid lane, and he's shooting somebody through the wall with his R&B, the snipe, and it just it looks like he's running real quick, and then he just kind of does a shot. I'm like, ooh, okay, is that so? It's it's a speed boost, almost like Murdock's E, kind of gives you that little movement speed going on. I'm like, okay, that's something that'd be interesting to have. But yeah, so I'm wondering if that's the kind of combination. Once you go what is it when Kalari goes in Viz, he gets healing, right? So he goes in Viz, he gets a 3% movement speed, or whatever. I don't know, increase or whatever it might be. I don't know. Numbers
it'd be a lot more than 3%.
Sure. Like I said, numbers aren't my thing when it comes to that. But yeah, an increase in movement speed while he's in Viz, would be an interesting setup is there as well.
What do you guys think about the invis on a basic cooldown? On a base ability.
I hope wards reveal him.
I'm guessing it's the same as Kalari stealth. I don't think they would give him. Kalari is the stealth character. My guess is that his invis is not better than Kalari's.
So the thing I'm a little bit what it looks like is he's not even invisible. He's camouflaged. If that makes a little bit more sense. So
I mean, that's what Kalari is. Kalari is camouflage. That's what Predecessor has.
I understand that, but the way Kalari goes, it's when Kalari goes in Viz, you can't see her across the map. But from the video, whenever Wraith goes in Viz, you could kind of see a silhouette. And it's yes, it's hard to see, but at the same time you can see it kind of thing. So I don't know if that plays a factor into, is it a true invis, or is it just a camouflage? So that's why I brought that point up. It's a really weird distinction.
I'd have to see it in game, I guess, because I don't know exactly what you're talking about.
I think it's a camouflage because when that first time you see him invisible, he's running through the jungle, and you can see that ring that Kalari has it goes up on the wall. The perimeter of the ring goes up on the wall. So I think it's almost identical to what Kalari has. And of course, Zoom is frozen again. It's always on F6, so I guess maybe we just gotta stop him from talking and we'll be fine. But we'll figure something out. Give me a minute. Again, guys, I'm sorry. We'll figure this out eventually, or we don't have to. 1 second. Can you use Discord while you use Zoom? Well, Discord doesn't allow it to be the we like when the person's talking, they're the one that comes forward. You don't have that there, and I don't have my stream set up for that right now. That's one thing I kind of want to just get a what's the word I'm looking for, like a panel set up where I can put the cameras in certain spots and have it look fresh and clean, professional. But I mean, I guess technically that would be more professional than sitting here stopping conversation all the time.
Oh, there's Wraith. Yep. He looks like he does what he did in Paragon, basically. Yeah, he's back. I didn't really like watch it 10 times or anything.
We are back.
Part about it. Oh, we're back. The best part about I liked about the kit in general was the rewind was on his ult, and I was like, I'm okay with that.
Okay, but notably, you do not see him cast his ultimate. You see him shoot a guy who gets hit by his ultimate, but you do not see him cast it. And I strongly believe that is because it is a lock-on, and they don't want you to know that it's a lock-on yet. They are trying to disguise it.
I hope it's a lock-on.
The reason I hope it's a lock-on is to make you upset.
All right.
I'm not gonna lie, like I hope it's a lock-on so I can just laugh at you while
that's all it is. That's all it is. Because I know how much you do not like lock-ons, so I'm just like, I just hope just as I can admire your misery, I'm just like, all right, good.
It's going to be a lock-on, and I just don't like that. I mean,
I know you don't.
A bajillion times, right? I don't, and it's going to be, and I don't think it needs to be. That's all.
I'm hoping that eventually we'll be able to get the Murdock snipe as a lock-on as well. That would be great.
Oh, like
Murdock snipe. You know what Murdock snipe needs? It needs a 100% health execute threshold. That's what Murdock snipe needs.
If you're not at 100, it's a 99%. You got to give a little bit of leeway. If you're not,
nah.
99% using Vanquisher, like take that other.
Murdock's ult is probably one of the hardest hitting things late game, like to a squishy,
true
and
damage.
it is it's unbelievable. You just got to hit it. But I mean, if it's a lock on, I would have to see like how it's.
We're talking about Wraith again now.
Yes, we were talking about
you didn't make that. You literally kept going for Murdock, and then all of a sudden,
my fault. But yeah, talking about Wraith, if his ult is a lock on, if I'm able to cleanse it, because we didn't see if we're able to cleanse it.
I'm assuming it's cleansable.
I'm assuming, but we can't assume too much,
True.
But if it's cleansable, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with a lock on. Because, like I said before, the only reason why I hate Belica's lock on is not because it's a lock on, it's because you can't escape it. Like, even if you try and blink away, it still follows.
It's not reactable.
You can't do anything.
Right.
It just blows you up, right? And that's the only problem I have with lock-ons if there's no counterplay to it. So if there's a counterplay to raise lock-on, I think it'll be fine.
My other question for the ultimate is, does it have a maximum pull distance? Like, if I can get, like, does it have a fail set kind of thing where if I can get far enough away, will it break it? Because my guess is no, would be my gut reaction, but I think that'd be cool.
I don't think so, because in the video when you see getting in a rewind, it started after or right before he teleported, and you see his actual teleport going over, and he's by like the tier 2 tower.
Right.
Meanwhile, Wraith was by like the T1.
And it gets brought back in the middle of his teleports.
The mid towers are literally one step away from each other. Like, that's actually not that far.
I mean, it's definitely a lot.
I think you need to check your definition of literally, because it's definitely not one step. All right.
It's a little deep.
I would be curious how many actual character steps it takes to get from the edge of tier 2 mid to the edge of tier 1 mid, because my guess is less than 5.
All right, somebody in chat figure that out for us. Let us know, and then get back to us.
It's definitely closer than what we would like, but I still think it's that gap of a distance is bigger than a fail, and I feel like they would respect the same thing as a fail. It's like that distance is the distance.
And I agree though, because of the fact that, again, that would be your initial thing of trying to break the tether of the alt would be, as a Gideon, to use your, hey, all right, let me use my teleport. To use your teleport, and so obviously he used the teleport and it still worked on him. So I believe exactly what F6 is saying. Like, I don't think it would break it. There's not going to be a distance to it. It's not going to be like a phase breaking a phase link by getting so far away from it. And
you play Smite, so I feel like it's going to be like an Ares ult. Like, once he chains you, like if you don't cleanse it, like that's it. Even if you go back to base, kind of thing.
That brings up my next question. Which is Ares ult. If you are not CC immune when it pulls you, then you get pulled. If you beads to it, because Ares ult is a 2.5 second channel, beads are 1.5 seconds. If you beads right away, you will get pulled by it. So my question is, do you have to be CC immune when Wraith ult is ending, or can you cleanse it at any time and it breaks the rewind? Because it looks like there's a logic, I would say you could break it any time, because that's like Fae ultimate.
I would say any time, because there's it's not instant, or like there's still a channel to it. Like it doesn't like just wait for it to pull you back. There's like, okay, you have between this time to,
it's a build up time.
Yeah. And with Ares ults, I'm pretty sure if you just beads, it gets you out of it, isn't it?
No.
Oh no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
You have to be CC immune when it ends.
Yeah, with Pred logic, I think it's once you cleanse, you cleanse the entire thing.
Based on Pred logic, I would agree, because Fae ult is the same way. If you insta cleanse Fae ult, technically your cleanse would expire before the Fae ult pulls, but it breaks the tether of the Fae ultimate when you cleanse it. So by Pred logic, I would agree that I think that it's you can cleanse it anytime in the however many seconds you have till it pulls you.
Okay. Bader Dragon says in chat, and I just want him to reply so that you guys don't need to comment on it, because you've already explained why you think it's going to happen. But you guys think you will be able to cleanse it? There's no way. Why do you feel that way, Bader?
That's an uncleansable crowd control. It is instantly the most powerful ability in the game.
Right. I agree. Yep.
It would make him. It would make him insane. There's that. Yeah. No.
And that goes back to the point of like why I don't like Bellica's lock on, because there's no counterplay. Whenever you have abilities with no counterplay, it's just not
they're unfun.
Good. Yeah.
How do you? What do you mean that won't count as a CC though, Bader? That doesn't make any sense. It literally is a crowd. You're controlling the crowd in that situation. Like that's like the definition of CC. I just don't have faith that a meta did that. Okay, I guess I don't know. When cleanses are all, it breaks the link. Oh, Ari's all okay.
He's
Sorry,
he's talking about Smite.
I didn't know the R. I didn't read R's, and I was like R's. I'm like, what are R's? Okay, so all right, so yeah, that's pretty much what we got with Wraith. I'm excited for him. I'm going to see I'm excited to see how he feels and plays in the game. I got to get on that grind so I can get him unlocked. I don't think I'm having him unlocked right away, but that's fine. So
our idea from the last podcast of making him free to play in the first week.
I don't think they will.
Yeah, I don't think they will either. That's not something that's going to benefit them. This is something that's going to get somebody to grind him and want to play.
They want to do it, especially the first time. There's no way they make him free to play the first week.
Right.
This is the way that they said they want to do releases.
they did hint. Jay Shred said in I don't know if it was the Gen chat or if the predecessor chat of the predecessor Discord that their intent, and I said this in a comment in our last video, their intent is to have them to be available at practice. That is not out right now, obviously, but they want that to be their setup, is so you can still
choice.
Yeah, the new heroes can be used in practice mode, so you can get an idea what that hero is like, and if you want to use that contract or not.
It's a good choice.
So
if it comes through
midway,
right?
Yeah, that would be a good midway. Like,
yep.
Okay.
I mean, that's the way.
That's how it is. That's how it is in Smite and League.
And that's how it is in HOTS too. You know, in Heroes of the Storm, that's what they. You know, you literally could just go into practice with anyone you wanted in it, and it to really see if that hero plays the way your play style. So, Shikata. So I have this issue with it being able to be cleansed. If you think that his ultimate that targets one person, I don't think it's cleansable. If it's a normal ability, it's cleansable.
Disagree.
Yeah, I disagree too, because it's CC, and that's just it's a huge, especially for an ADC. That's the biggest reason I think they put it on the ultimate, is because the fact that it's like this, they have that ability on a low cooldown basic ability is just too strong. So putting it on his ultimate, you know, it makes it more balanced, I think. So I don't know. Okay. So another thing we got, guys, I don't know if you guys been paying attention. But I know these guys here have been looking at them. But we have been lucky as a couple partners were given some affinity skins to show the community what we got going on. And have you guys seen the skins they've released? If not,
yeah.
I mean, I got to pull these up here.
There are some bangers in there.
There are some bangers.
Has my heart right now.
That one I think is the best one I've seen so far.
So I'm gonna switch over the cameras here, and we're gonna show all of them that they've currently showed out, and then we're gonna release ours. I'm excited to see what everybody thinks. So make sure you guys go let everybody know that we're getting ready to show off some affinity skin wallpapers for everybody that wants. All right. Shown they aren't released. Who said released? Somebody say release? I didn't say release. If I said release, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. So, all right.
Yeah.
So, all right. We saw this one. This is the Revenant one. This is one of the first ones they dropped. Then we got FaZe. FaZe is looking good. I like the hair. Drongo. This is the one they did on the dev stream. All right. So now we're gonna drop. Boom. All right. Got our boy Sev.
Sev just looks like just good in general. Like, it's just like a good, like,
right?
I think he's probably, I don't know. He just
artistically, he's one of the better heroes in the game. Yeah. Yep.
I like him. All right. Then we got Crunch. This guy likes to punch.
The fact that he's made out of all metal, I think, makes him like one of the best people to have.
I like
skin.
I like some of the details you see. Like, he's literally got blood on his knuckles. Like, that's pretty cool.
I just like how his engines are.
I think he just looks really good. Like, the color combination of like black/silver and like molten gold is just like that's such a good mastery combo for them to have.
Then we got Xeris. This shield,
this one's also sick.
Looks great. And then he's got his belt.
Demon.
Yeah,
he does.
Yes, it is great. I'm all about it. Like
that one's number 2 for me.
This gives him more dragon, like the fiery burning dragon, skill.
Fiery.
Yeah.
Great.
Definitely first affinity skin.
Now this one.
Oh, I know.
This one I'm not impressed with. To me, it looks like
he has a normal face. None of the other ones that you've shown have normal faces.
That's a good point. But this also just
in a gold costume.
It looks copper to me. This looks like she's wearing like a bronze or copper outfit.
I think the lighting on this one is not good as well.
I think they probably they missed
/ made these, but I think the lighting is bad.
Yep. I think they missed an opportunity with her on this one. I get she's doing her ultimate pose here, but like they missed something with her on this one because this one just doesn't look good. And in game, it could look a lot better.
Give
right?
her molten eyes. Give her the eyes that the lizard skin
or
has.
the hair like phase, right? Like
More
give
like
her
phase,
a
yeah,
little bit more, but she's definitely looking like a basic,
She just
but
looks
it's
like
okay.
a chick with a different color armor on.
But even here, like there's not some of that cool like flame magma look to it. This literally looks just like bronze
Even
copper.
like the tip of the barrel,
Yeah,
like,
everything.
Yeah.
The only time you get like that flame look is right here on the magazine. That's it. Like you're not. The rest of it just looks
It
like this
looks like
copper bronze look.
her gluteus maximus is lava, but
It is. It definitely is.
Honestly, that's all that matters.
that's all that matters.
All right, I'm gonna go. I want to skip this one, but I can't with the way it's going down. But this one is probably my favorite out of the ones that have been released so
This
far.
is the best one.
This one,
It's so
smoke.
good.
yeah.
The smoke is really ties it in, man.
It's so good.
I look at this one and I feel like he just got done doing an ultimate to 3 people and he's just coolly walking away as everything behind him is on fire and burning. Like he's just like that cool action hero, and he's like, I'm gone. Like.
Well, you get this cool like aspect of it that you don't get on normal Fang Mao, where his like armor bleeds into like his pauldron on the right side, and that doesn't really like. I don't even know if it's I'd have to go look at base skin Fang Mao to even check it, but like just the way that the magma bleeds down his arm and like across his pauldron is just
right,
so good.
All right, and then the other one,
they gave him the eyes.
Yeah, the eyes. That is huge in that situation. All right, the other one here we have is Gadget. Gadget here also looks like Bellica and just kind of has that like, hey, well, here's my copper skin, and you do have more things, that kind of give you that like fiery burning look, but it's just I don't know. I feel underwhelmed with this one. I agree with somebody said in chat that those two, nerd vibes. Bellica and Gadget have been the least impressive, and they're not every one of these skins are going to be bangers, right? Yeah. I'm not saying that, right? And these aren't heroes that I play, so it's not like. But I don't play Fang Mao, right? I don't play Fang Mao, so like, but his skin is dope, sick. Right? So I'm not like, so it's not like I'm still looking at skins like, because obviously you have your favorites and you're gonna see it in your favorite. Like, oh man, I can't wait to get my favorite skin, right? Zoom froze on me, but we're not just showing Zoom right now, so that's fine. But
I will say, I think the Gadget one, this one in particular, I think the Bellica one might be suffering from this as well. But I think the backgrounds of these pictures, excuse me, the backgrounds of these pictures, they take away a lot of contrast from the heroes, and it makes a lot of them kind of blend in. So like the Gadget one and the Bellica one, I think like my guess is that those will look better in game.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
Than they do on this part.
I'm hoping so. You are getting some of that with her.
That's my hope.
Her grenades or whatever these down here, that these you're getting some of that like that glow here, and that's nice looking, But again, it could just be a pose, and it's just not that good, and you got to have a better view or a better angle.
I think they kind of missed a little bit on Gadget and Bell.
Agreed.
Yeah, they could have definitely had the lava like just
at least on these
chest.
Pictures again. At least on these pictures, right?
Yep.
But if her
maybe
hat
they're better in game
goes with like if like all the hat she throws kind of looks like the skin.
Who would have looked really good with a mastery skin? Midriff Gadget. Bring her back.
Right?
Okay.
Bring her back.
All right.
All right.
Nobody plays Gadget that much.
Now
on a lot more if we had Midriff Gadget. Okay.
On to the ones we get to show off here. All right.
Ones? Do we have many?
We have multiple. All right.
I didn't know that.
Yes. All right. So let me show you this first one here.
I glanced at it.
Look at our boy Kai.
Ooh.
Look at our boy Kai.
Okay.
Look at his arms. Like it's there, right?
He is kitted.
Okay. That looks really good.
Yep. You're getting right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's there. Like, the only thing I would wish,
really good.
I'm not seeing it. I would love to see it more in his axe. You're not seeing much in his axe. I would love to see more on that. That's like my just feedback.
I hope the blade of the axe is like molten, like that molten orange.
Yeah. And again, this could just be the picture, how we got it, whatever. It could actually look better. But right now, what I'm seeing, it looks like I can see some in the handle down here. But like I'm thinking, the tips of the axe should be like that molten look, that color. That's huge. So
I'm not gonna lie.
That's a good one.
What really does it for me is like the black, the lava, and then like his traditional skin kind of just flowing with each other. And if that moves in game,
the feathers,
the color changes. Oh yeah, the feathers are cracked.
The feathers on here having that molten look, that little flame to it, like
the feathers tie it together for sure. Plus his like necklace and stuff too.
Oh,
that's good.
All right, you guys want to keep looking at this hot one, or you want to look at another one?
Show me another hot one, honestly.
All right, let's look at our OG Hera with the eyes.
Okay, the eyes, man. I'm telling you,
the eyes.
The eyes bring it. But you know what I'm mad about? They didn't bring
the bow's purple.
Bow in, bro.
Yeah.
There's no shot.
But they've done this. They've done this multiple times, actually. In the not bringing certain things in. So it was phase. Windu brought it up, and on the phase. Again, where's phase at? Up here. Look at that's her normal ability or normal hand shooting, right? You easily could have made that molten look with her abilities too. Just have that look. But yeah, her bow is still the purple. I think if you do okay, RGSA says what it is. It's because she looked weird shooting purple arrows from an orange bow. And that's what I was just getting ready to say it. Oh, you guys can't hear me? Oh, where did you go? All right. Sorry, guys. Stick with me. Windu is not allowed to take any more days off, guys. All right. All right, guys. I am back. Can you hear me? All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Just walk 2 feet away further, and we could try it again.
All right. So anyways, RGS Ace answered why it's purple. So it's because she looked weird shooting purple arrows from an orange bow. And that's what I was getting ready to say before RGS popped in. And again, thanks for the reply, Robbie. Is changing the arrow to be orange to fit the skin, that then makes it like a higher tier skin, and these are going to be
that'd be too much, yeah,
right. So it's just, I mean, it's one of those give and take situations,
Yeah, we had a whole conversation, by the way, for like 5 minutes. So yeah, we definitely agree with you're saying after you showed us, because like I saw you go to phase, I was like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But yeah,
right.
100%.
Yeah, so yeah, I was bringing up, FaZe has that look as well with her normal hands, but I think FaZe, you could have done that, and it could just have be the change color, but it is what it is. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's the eyes.
Yep,
the eyes make it better.
That's why the Bellica skin looks so weird. It's that the hair doesn't change and the eyes don't change.
But if you look at like Kira's eyes, though, you can still see like her pupil, and that's what's really like
that's cool.
Like bringing it in for me.
And again, like the trim on the armor, like on the shoulders.
The trim is clutch.
That's good.
Her gauntlet.
She's the only one.
She's got that gauntlet. It was very good.
Like that, like doesn't have like a bunch of lava flowing. That is just like all trim, and I'm like, you know what? It kind of suits her.
Well, I think it helps that she has more armor. Like if her arms were bare, it wouldn't look as good, you know?
Correct.
Because there wouldn't be
Hey,
as much. It'd
good
be
to hear,
the Kai
Windu.
one. On the Kai one, I don't know if you noticed, the magma on the Kai one like goes down his arms, even though his arms are bare. Like that's what you'd have to do if they didn't have armor.
Right.
So I'll let you guys answer this question. Distress says, wait, but shouldn't affinity skins be up there, maybe a tier below premium since we are earning them?
No. They're free.
They're free. So like, yes, you're putting in time, but essentially you can earn all of these if you just play. So it's
I think
people actually put currency out there. That's when you need to give them something a little bit more. I'm not saying your time's not worth it, because your time is worth it. Like as a player myself, like I want to be rewarded for my time. But there's a different tier when it comes to actually playing like currency for it.
Like a custom skin is cool. Custom effects are beyond a free to earn skin, you know. That's you're not putting custom effects on any of these.
Right. But they can definitely look better, which that's what I like, is they look better than a regular skin.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a recolor. It's definitely a step above a recolor, right? This would maybe be like a tier 3 skin, right? If tier 4 is where abilities change, this would be like a tier 3, a really good changed, you know, skin, but no new model, no new ability effects, that kind of thing.
I'm gonna say something you guys will never hear me say again.
Uh-oh.
I hope these pictures do justice, and when we get them to see them, that they actually reveal what the card art is. Because not Pred itself. Like Pred itself is like pretty good at like what the card art is. It kind of looks like this. It looks like the skin, right? But I've seen from many MOBAs, the card art looks amazing. Smite. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. And then like you go in game, you're like, this is the skin I really just bought. Like, give me my money back. So
the card art always looks good, man.
Yeah. So I'm really hoping they stick to the whole entire ordeal of making sure the card art and skins are the same. So
I agree. Are those the only two that we had?
Those are the only two we had.
Okay.
So,
okay. Just making sure that you were done.
Yeah, and again, shout out to the team. Thanks for letting us be part of the team that is showing off these. We do have Thrasher is going to be doing theirs tomorrow. Let me pull that up real quick. Thought I messaged. Maybe it's in. All right. So basically what they've been doing is they've given hero skins, these affinity skins, to 7 different partners. The group we're one group, guys. Sorry, but we got 2 of them. So, but they're giving these skins out to 7 different partners, and they are allowing them to reveal them on their platforms. I'm trying to find Drasher's link. I thought he linked it to me already. I could be wrong. But over here, twitch.tv/Drasher. Okay. So I will put this in chat, so anybody that's watching can go follow him or them. I don't know if Drasher's a guy or girl. Sorry. But I will put this in chat here. And then you guys can 1500 CEST. I think I did the math on that. That's like 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time. You might need to check that for anybody that does. I don't know if that's a truth. Right. So I think that's around that 1500 CEST. I think that's something Europe, Central Europe. I believe what it is. So.
But we can all agree that the Fang Mao is the best. That Fang Mao is the best.
So far, yeah, I still agree Fang Mao is the best. And Windu already said it, that he agreed that it's just like even the Chimera's one's not as good.
The Kai one is good. The Lizard one is good.
I think
Fang Mao one is.
Kai and Zarus are on the same level, and then Fang Mao is just
agreed. Yeah. I will say Redhead Phase.
Not gonna get. She's looking kind of hot.
If only we had Gadget back. without her stupid little helmet thing on that has 5 eyes
know
on
what?
it for some reason. Why does her helmet have so many like holes in it, huh?
Because she kept throwing her hat on herself sometimes and it would hurt her face. So she put on the full mask and was like, you know what, now I'm safe. Science.
I'll give it to you on that one.
Yeah. But
All right. Who do you guys want to see next in the Hero Affinity skins? I want chat to answer, and I want you guys to answer as well while I'm making this post.
Faye is the one that I want to see the most, yes. Because she suffers from the issue that I sort of talked about on Kira, which is she doesn't wear a lot of armor, right? Her clothing is all like this grass plant thing, right? And it does kind of go down her arms and stuff, but you could I think Faye's got a lot of potential for hers.
Get me my boy Steel, because that man has all the attributes for you to make the best skin ever. So
true.
I know he just got a free construction zone skin, but I want to see that.
Okay, Steel's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Richter is the other one, just because that's a character that's on my list for like first mastery. So
he just needs a better skin in general. So like
also his copper skin sucks. So
yeah, his copper skin is not anything to really fight for. It does give you plus 10% on your hook rate, but other than that,
I don't know about that.
You don't know? Have you tried it though?
Yeah, I always use that skin, but I think I hook the same amount when I use the base one.
And that's just a skill issue at that point, Pinzo. I don't know what to tell you. All right.
We'll see. Rampage is another good one.
Oh, I don't know though, but he doesn't have a lot of armor.
Well, my issue with Rampage is that the rock skin that he has is already like a rocky kind of lava skin. So like how much can they distinguish that, you know? My guess is that they can do it, but like to what extent?
Right, like where does it draw the line of like, is this skin really different from the lava rock skin? Like,
well, my question is will it be better than the lava rock skin, right?
True, because that skin is probably the best skin in the game.
It's up there for best skins in the game. That is like, can they make it better?
All right, so chat is going with, I'm going to read through some of these. We got Countess, we got Richter, we got Sparrow, we got Faye, and we got obviously Joey, yours truly saying Countess. We got Grux, we got Shinbi, and then I think I saw a Rampage somewhere. Yeah.
Grux is another one that like doesn't wear a lot of armor, so what do? Do they like make him like have cracked skin, like kind of like a Xeris sort of look, and have like lava flowing through like that? Who knows, you know?
I think Richter is going to be one of the ones, like, because his tentacles, everything, like it's going to be crazy.
Not the tentacles.
What would you call it? Are you laughing because I call them tentacles?
Yeah, it's chains.
I wouldn't. They're not chains. What?
Well, they are chains.
They are.
I don't.
Tentacles.
Nah.
Tentacles is that what we're going with?
I've seen some weird.
Oh, right.
The chesticles. Yeah, there you go. They're chesticles. All right.
There you go.
All right. So that's the Infinity skins. Now we also have the great and amazing blog post. I say that with a little sarcasm.
I would say it personally with about 50% more sarcasm than Bearded would have said it. But...
And here.
I first want to go over. I asked a friend, right, in my Discord, and this is somebody that has been following Pred through me in the sense of just asking me when console is happening, right? And I'll give them I'll either point them to the blog post, any blog post that references it and any means, and to give them the information. And that's pretty much about it, right? They don't have the means to really watch a lot of the Predcast, all that stuff, whatever. So they just take a little bit of information and they go with it. So they're not a hardcore Pred fanboy by any means. They're not a PTO fanboy by any means. They did play the PTO console CBT, right? So I asked them, hey, let me know what you got from that blog and how it came across to you. So I'm going to read this first, and then we'll go into it and we'll talk about how our feelings, right? So I think it's transparent. I think it's transparency, but it's also shifting attention. Like they're saying it's later and they want the best product, which is most likely true. But I feel they may be slacked somewhere and are now seeing it. So they're blaming Sony's cert process as the reason for the holdup, which also could very well be a factor. They're saying everything is okay on their end and they're working hard, but they really never said that any of it was their fault. And in the gaming business, I doubt everything in this super late 2023 launch is on other people / companies. But I am glad for the transparency. I just wish it was earlier and more for sure answers on a timeline, because they said it could also be later, which to me left open to putting blame elsewhere if it's delayed to 2024. So again, and that's just something that's an honest, like that's not a Pred fanboy saying, oh, I'm completely okay with what Omeda's doing. Omeda's great. Keep up doing the work. And that's not a PTO hater, somebody that's hating on Pred because it's PTO, like they're a PTO fanboy and they're just showing, pushing blame off on Omeda as well. This is literally a community member and how they feel with that blog post. What are your guys' thoughts on that comment? And then what are your guys' thoughts on the blog post?
Do I go first like usual?
Sure, whatever you want. I don't care.
I missed the end of it. Sorry, I had to stand up and do something. I missed the end of it. There's a giant bug in my room.
Not you not cleaning your room, Bizzo.
Well, my window, I'll send you a picture of it, bro. My AC is put in my window, but my window is not a
that Midwest
side window.
Yeah.
So I've got a big piece of
cardboard or whatever.
Not cardboard, whatever. I just lost it. Wood. The big sheets of wood and
plywood.
So my window's kind of open constantly.
Okay.
But
gotcha.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
I'm gonna say that was great feedback. There's not a lot of people out there that are in that position of not being on one side or the other. And I feel like that right there is really good for Omeda to hear. And I don't think he's wrong from his point of view. Like you said, you only send him blog posts and like that's the only thing he has to see from, right? Like
right.
That's it, right? But from my perspective of it, from what he said was, I still think there's a little bit more that like would probably further like explain a little bit of things. For instance, like he's saying they might be pushing the blame off to Sony. I think every single time they've mentioned is like, hey, we push the patch. Sorry, I can't speak. We push whatever packages that needs to be done for Sony to approve. So just based off of like every time we bring up console and they're like, hey, we're pushing it to there, we're pushing it back, we're pushing it back. Yes, there's something to say that like, are they doing the right things in the first place? Like, are you actually going through the checklist? But at what point is it, hey, you gave us a list, we keep giving you back the list, like, what more is there? So I think it's going to have to, that's the information we're missing, right? Is what is it that they had to do for Sony and what did they actually deliver to Sony? But from my perspective and like from talking to the devs and seeing like the staying in connection is I don't see them just giving Sony like a half-ass like product of like, this should do, right? Like I feel like from everything that they do within the game, they're pushing their best towards Sony and just getting him back. So I feel like there's a little bit more to it. Obviously, like I said, I don't know the information and nobody really does a spec for Omeda. But I feel like from the prior experience of like what they're trying to do with the game of like creating this quote unquote perfect game with nothing wrong with it, right? Is they're striving for perfection. I don't think they're giving Sony these like packages that are just like, oh no, this is just not good enough. So I feel like it is kind of mostly on the Sony aspect, and that's really where it's coming from. What I think about it, I don't like it because it's a bad look because it was hyped up. And that's the key part of it. It's only reason it's a bad look is because it was hyped up to be released by, was it the halfway point of this patch or this season?
Before early.
Right. So like
First
the
half.
halfway point is the first half, right? That's my point. So I think that's where the big struggle is with it. I talked about it with a bunch of the PCC staff guys. They kind of give me a little bit more information on their aspect. And I was like, you know what, that kind of makes sense. Like, it's not the fact that it's delayed. It's the fact that there was too much hype put onto it. And that's why it feels bad. I kind of feel like, though, there is a part of where Omega did their hyping up, and then there's a part where the community did their own hyping up. Because like last week when I said, obviously I didn't portray it very well, but it said common sense was they wouldn't be getting ready to release console news if version 2 isn't out, because I'm a firm believer on whenever console news gets confirmed and they're like, holy shit, like we can actually pull the trigger on this, right? I feel like that's something they'll come in like a sporadic way, not like the entire thing, not like a full dev blog post, but kind of like how they did the new $8.99 bundle, like something that just came out of nowhere. You're like, what the hell? Right. You're just like, oh, there's information. And it was good. It was great. And I think that's how they're going to deliver when it first information comes out, and then do like a deeper blog post. But like I was saying last week, hey, it is, I just don't think they would just be boasting something for a longer period of time, like a console date. And this is like what we kind of saw with that. And so, yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Okay.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
I am in a similar camp. Just to respond to chat real quick, and this is probably something other people are thinking as well. A lot of people have the argument of like, well, Pred's getting denied even though there are really shitty games on PlayStation. And that's true, but the requirements to get onto like the PlayStation Store are not. There's not a good requirement. One of the requirements on their checklist is not, is the game good? It is, does it meet this list of requirements that makes it playable and shippable on console, right? So they're missing something in that. It could be something on the back end. It could be something on the front end, right? This could be something that we've never heard of, right? But they have a list of requirements that they have to meet to get it on console. Obviously, I don't know. I would say, obviously, they thought that they were going to meet that list of requirements the last time they submitted it. And that's, I kind of think, why it was getting talked up and talked about. And people are, there's a lot of people. I do agree with F6. I think the community is a big part of why it got hyped up so much. Everyone's like, oh, they said early, so it's got to be the first big content patch of the season that has to have console in it, that kind of thing. Like, it was definitely getting, I think, a little bit overhyped. At the same time, it's a bummer it's not coming. I mean, like, end of the day, I think we can all agree on that. It stinks that we're not getting it as soon as we would have liked. Do I particularly care? Yeah, to some extent. Like, realistically, I can already play the game. So, like, it doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't directly affect me. I'm kind of on the outer edge of being actually affected by it, right? As a content creator, it'll affect me some. But, like, I don't know. It's a bummer is really just kind of the baseline of it. Did they think they could get it out? I think they did think that they were going to, like, get accepted. Did they get accepted? Obviously not, which just kind of stings.
Right.
So I don't know. It's kind of like when your mom asks you to clean your room and you're like, Mom, I'm done. And she's like, let me look. And she goes in. She's like, oh, well, you missed this, and this. And then you're like, all right, Mom, I'm done with those things. And then she comes back. And she's like, oh, well, you still missed this. Like, that's kind of how I picture it. But I don't know. Maybe that's bootlicking 10% too much. Who knows? I'm sure the YouTube comments will tell me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right.
So, all right. So I think with what you said, Pinzo, it does affect us, though, right? It affects us, one, because we're trying to get more people in the game and play the game and have a higher population of gamers. That's obviously got delayed. The perception of Omega now with the community is it's definitely taken a hit now, especially because they had this issue before. They made the blog post that said we're going to under promise and over deliver, and here we are, like, you're not even over delivering now. Like, that's not even going to happen. because of the statement of it's going to be console. The aim for console is early season 3, and now it got pushed back to maybe mid season 3 to could possibly be later season 3. So, and technically, it did say they're going to try to get November still. It does have that open window there, but it's like
November.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't. But so it's there.
So
now the one comment I wanted, because I saw in one Discord and I saw with my friend's comment here, it says they're blaming Sony, or he says they're blaming Sony's cert. I don't think they're blaming Sony's cert process. I think they're blaming themselves. Like they're taking blame. Say, hey, we failed, right? Like if LeBron James shoots a 3-pointer and he misses the 3-pointer, he doesn't blame the size of the rim. I missed a shot, but that's not saying, well, he's pointing the rim was bigger, it'd be better. That's not what's happening. So like, they're taking the blame. Like, hey, we failed the cert. We got to figure out what's going on. We're working diligently with Sony to figure that out. So when we can get this process going faster. So that's the way I read that. And, but I'm on the side of you guys in the sense of like, this isn't a good look, and it hurts. I do love the transparency, but it hurts.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's just all around, it's a bummer. I agree that it's not a good look. But me personally, my mindset goes back to what my mindset was when the UI was, overhyped and underdelivered, which is not like hype necessarily is maybe not the thing that affects my perception, but when something gets delayed, my expectations increase. So and maybe I'm the only one that thinks that way, but if I'm not, then a lot of the console players who have been waiting, 5+ years for Paragon to come back to console, right? What are their expectations going to be when this game actually drops, right?
Yep.
Who knows?
I also think that's one of the big problems as well, right? Like there's the people that have been waiting for this game for such a long time. They haven't had the best of luck. I don't fall in that category because I only played Paragon for, I think it was like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And the way it was balanced, it just didn't work for me. I went back to Smite, right? And I didn't like follow the whole entire like Para-Zombies thing. I was like, I just play MOBAs and play whatever games I like. And the difference between me and them is they've been invested into all these Paragon. They've been invested into these Para-Zombies.
They've been teased a lot too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like they've been like, maybe Fall could work it out, or like what is it, Core?
Genesis.
What was that one?
Core.
Yeah.
Yep.
Core.
All these different remakes, and I feel like that's really the driving factor. Is Omega got put into this position of like, okay, you guys have potential, but then there's all this like history of like these other bad companies of just like failing, canceling the game. And I feel like that's really the thing that's driving like the big hurt feelings when it comes to these upsets, right? Because if you really think about it, for me, or like let's just say like for like anybody that's a little bit newer, these aren't like something that like stops you from really playing the game or gives you like a negative, like a huge negative impact, right? For the most part. But I can definitely feel it from like somebody that's like just been through all of this, like just all these other Para-Zombies and like Paragon just not being there, and you still haven't been able to find a game for the last 5-6 years to really fill that void that you really want back. And I think like for the community, understanding that you might fall underneath that and giving a little bit of grace. I'm not saying you should give them grace for this, because this is something that I definitely still think and firmly believe they should have just on their end not hype this up and just be like, we have no idea whenever this thing's coming out. We'll let you know when we have a date. Like, it is what it is. Like, we can't give you anything. What's up?
Sorry, I was just going to build off of your previous point, which was like, that these, like, especially people who only play console, who haven't been able to play a Paragon game for the last, 5 years and sort of been getting teased this way and that. This is something Windu wanted me to ask, which is, how does Overprime already having a console test, how does that affect Predecessor? And also, how does that affect the console players themselves, right? Like if a console player played Overprime and they're like, damn, this is bad, are they going to give Predecessor a try? Or if they play Overprime and they're like, damn, this is good, are they going to give Predecessor a try? Or are they just going to be like, no, I just want to, I want to play Overprime, right? Like there's a couple different thoughts between that. I don't know, I'm curious.
So that thought kind of in early access for Pred is kind of a thing because there's a price barrier, right? And that's really the only thing stopping them from being able to try out Pred is like, okay, not to pay for this game, but this one's already free. And that's where that's going to be a problem. But when it comes to them both being free to play, I think it's a lot easier for people to make that distinction. Like, you know what? I played Overprime. Let me play Pred. I've played Pred. Let me play Overprime. They're both free. I can just test them out and kind of make my own opinion. I think the only time that's really a problem is when it's still in early access behind a paywall. And I think that's really where it's going to come down to. Really only.
I agree that once both games are free to play, I mean, it just becomes, a open battlefield.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, once both games are on even playing ground, then it's even.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think I don't know. It's they. I think not the Sony side of it, but like just as a community, as we're sitting here watching, like my friend, obviously not paying attention to both of them in the sense of knowing what's going on, but to see the speed that PTO is able to put things out there, new maps, new this, new that, whatever it might be, and it might not be as well polished as Predecessor, but it's still there and it's still playable and it's still fun for people. Like the fact that they're able to do it at that speed and all Pret is doing is getting delayed with almost everything they want to do. It sucks. Like it's something that it's like, what do they got to do to fix that in that situation?
Well, okay, one quick thing, which is I'm gonna say this before people come back with this, which is like people are like, well, Overprime is Netmarble or whatever. It's giant. They have so many people working on Overprime. I don't care because it's a direct competitor.
Right.
If your competitor has more people and you have less, you have to find a way to either keep people in your game or to compete. Like it is a competitor. It does not matter that they could be 10 times as big, right? They are a direct competitor and therefore you have to compete. Otherwise you're going to lose.
Right.
Right.
And I wouldn't even say that they have that they're competing with. So you have Ometa and you have Soulleave, right? Those are the two companies that are creating these games. Soulleave has Netmarble backing them. Soulleave is able to get resources from Netmarble. It's not Netmarble that is over here creating this game. So
I understand that, but I mean the
right.
point.
But I'm backing your point up with that. Is what I'm saying. Like I'm backing your point up, saying it's for those people who think that Netmarble's creating PTO. That's not a true statement. They're backing Soulleave and they're giving Soulleave resources that are needed
or whatever. But
right.
Soulleave is the one that's making the game. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, I completely agree with you. But it's and again, they are a direct competitor. And they're talking, like they're in talks, because I follow both games. They're in talks of bringing out an Agora map that's going to give you your normal 3 towers that you have, and it's going to make it more of that MOBA style. If they are able to come out with that before we're even able to hit console here on Pred, that's gonna hit hard. That's gonna hit hard, and we're gonna hurt. And so there's the writing's on the wall for Ometa to put their nose to the grindstone and figure something out and get going with it, because it just needs to happen.
So I'm not even on the mindset of they need to keep up. I'm still in the mindset of it just needs to be good. The problem I have is not not necessarily the speed. I wish it was faster. Obviously, there's still a lot of things there. I mean, but as long as I feel like as long as they're doing it right, I'm good. But the problem I have is it feels like there is something that's always in the way. And I don't know if that's bad or good or if it's just coincidence, right? So early on in this like first season's season 2, it was like because season 1 I think we got like 90% of the roadmap. So I'm like, whatever. That's good enough for me.
They were pretty good season 1.
Yeah. Season 2, it's like, oh, we gotta create a UI. I'm like, okay. Sure. Why not? That took a little long, a little deep, but sure.
One way to put it.
Then this season, it just feels like we want to focus on console and we want to make sure console is ready. And I don't know if they need to focus on console because for me, I'm like, don't even release console until PC is good. I think there's more content that you can release. I feel like they should release the new game mode that they've been teasing a little bit. And I feel like they need to have just something else content-wise, just to kind of feed into it to make the game a little bit more meaty, and then move over to console. I'm not saying to stop working on console, but I don't think it should be like where all your resources are shoved. And that's what it kind of feels like is all the resources are shoved over to getting this to console. Not saying that it is, but that's what it just feels like.
So my guess is that, and this is a good point that you just brought up, which is season 1, they hit most of their things, right? I'd have to go find a roadmap or whatever to see if it's 100%, but
it's not 100%. I know that, but
they
it was
hit
like
most of their stuff, right? And what that makes me think is that they had a lot of that backlogged, right? And then they were just giving it out as it was ready and or putting finishing touches on, right? And putting it out. And now that they are to the point where they are out of backlogged things, they realized they're like, oh shit, like this is actually kind of hard to keeping up with a live service game is kind of hard, dog, right? They ran out of backlog and now they're having to actually make stuff as they go, is that they're trying to get out, it's essentially ASAP, right? With the UI, they're trying to get it out as fast as possible. And they're like, damn, it's kind of tough, man. This takes a little bit longer than we thought it did. Like that's the feeling that I get.
So I don't think so yes, it does take a little bit longer because generally, I think it takes longer because they're trying to fine tune it, right? Like that's just their MO, right? Is like, we want to make sure when we put something out, it's great. Which is fine. But I just generally think it's not even that really. It's just like, I just think they put too much attention on console. And I feel like they don't have any attention anywhere else. But it just feels like that from my perspective. I don't know like if they really are just focused on it, but that is just a general consensus that I have ever since like season 2 was ending after like, we finished a new UI and then season 3 started. And that was pretty much like the main talking point. I don't know if that's coming from the community itself, maybe hearing it too much, but that's just my take on that.
Yeah, and Windu and a couple people in chat are saying that there is kind of issues with it, is that we got the big under promise over deliver thing, right? Like that's correct. How it goes. That's what we got. And it almost sounds like they're delivering some things, right? Like they're delivering news. But what Windu's saying is that there's always a but, right? There's like, hey, here's some news, but blah 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 blah. Generally speaking, the but is a negative thing, right? And it's just kind of like I don't know. It's just kind of a bummer, right? It's kind of like an apology, right? A proper apology never ends with but.
Right.
You cannot say
Correct.
I'm sorry, but.
Because it kind of negates the initial apology, right? Like
the apology doesn't count. If I say I'm sorry, but you hit me first, that's not an apology. That's me trying to justify my actions. That's like,
I am sorry. I do feel that. I respect that. And I think that's where it comes to the whole entire point of we are going to have to suffer. We would have to agree to suffer as a community, not to get as much information if Omega can agree to give us only information that they can confirm. That makes sense? So like, as a community, we want more information, correct? Like we want them to keep their open dialogue and like probably even more and tell us exactly what's going on every single day. But at the same time, we get upset at them because they're telling us stuff that is not necessarily confirmed. So then they'll most likely have to tell us less. So I think there has to be a middle ground between Omeda and the community on how we want to receive information for this to actually work out in our favor.
All right, guys, give me 1 second. Let me Zoom one more time. We should be, hopefully we'll make this one work one more time and we'll go from there. So they're not going to hear you for a minute. All right. Hopefully this will be the last time we got to do this.
No, I think they smoothed out in the picture because it looks like a little, when somebody gets like photoshopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks kind of like that because his arms are actually that big. Like when you're looking at him, like his arms are huge.
Okay.
They can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, like I was saying,
Sorry,
I think
we were admiring Kai's muscles real quick.
You're good. I put it on that screen on purpose because we were frozen with F6 there. I'm like, all right, let's just put it on this and they can look at that while I'm switching things over. But yeah. So yeah, the hype, them again. It's a quick story here. This happened to me in real life. For the longest time, it was 2013 when I finally watched the movie Fight Club. Okay, I never watched it. I just had no interest in it. Right. I had friends of mine that were in the Navy with me. They were telling me, oh, if you've never watched Fight Club, then you're not a real man, blah, blah, blah. Give me, just razzing me up, telling me it's the best movie ever, blah, 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 just hyping this movie up, right? I start watching this movie, and as I'm watching it, there's a scene in there. So spoiler alert for anybody who's watched this or who hasn't watched it. I'm sorry, but I think the
time frame is up.
That time's up, right? So I'm watching this movie, and there's a time where he's looking down the basement to the guy, and he's looking upstairs, or she's upstairs with him at the girl, and it hits me. Oh, he's talking to himself, and I just knew it. Right? I'm like, okay, and I caught it. So it could totally just ruin the movie for me because I figured it out before like the end of the movie, and it's like this, and I'm like, it wasn't as good as you guys made it to be. That's what Omeda's doing. They're hyping this up to be something that is not as good as it actually is now because you get all this hype going and all of a sudden it's like, well, we're going to postpone it. We know we got you excited for early season 3. We told you sooner than you think, and it's actually going to be later than a lot of us think, and it's like, they need to understand what they're doing as a business and they need to fix that. We thought they were going the right direction when they said they're going to overpromise and underdeliver. Underpromise and overdeliver. Sorry.
So,
but it's
if you're not done.
But yeah, so just they I thought they were going the right direction with that comment, like saying, "Hey, this is how we're going to change things up," and then it's like they go right back into their own situation here, like how they were doing things, and I'm like, just not.
So I do want to say the comments about I think there's a lot of like quote unquote receipts of like people like quoting like, oh, consoles coming sooner than you think kind of mindset. Most of those came before season 3. And I kind of feel like that's kind of left out, like where the information is really coming from. I know they've teased console a little bit. They said early season 3, hopefully sooner. And I think they kind of stuck with that when it goes into season 3. I think the problem where it was last week, right? When we saw the little controller and the monkey and then Kari saying like, oh, console when. And I feel like that is where it went wrong, right? Because before that, nobody was like really hyped about console because we're like, hey, we got to wait first part of the season, right? Not saying
They had
that.
to have thought it was coming.
Yeah,
That's the only explanation I have for like that tease from Kari
that specific
in particular.
and
Yes.
then Robbie like within 24 hours. So like, I
They
think
had to have thought they were getting accepted.
and that's a problem, right? Because now it's like you didn't confirm, like there wasn't a confirmation. There's more of like a
that's agree.
Good.
Agree. They
Right, like,
have to they have to know that they have to have the paycheck in their hand. Like, don't sit there and tell me I'm getting money. Like, I'll tell you I got money once the paycheck's actually in my hand. All right, we got this.
Yeah. So I want to also say, like, I do understand what you're saying, where like they're hyping it up way too much, but also to like really go with like your story, using that like the same analogy is, it's really the people that watch the movie that is overhyping it, right? It's not necessarily that the company is. I'm not saying the company didn't, like as in with Omega, but like obviously they have their part. And I will say this again so people understand. I'm saying it. I think it's Omega giving those small little hints and those certain teasers that we want teasers, yes, but if it's not confirmed, it doesn't really help you as a company when things backfire. And since we haven't had that luck, as we're talking about Omega, I don't think we should be really doing those anymore. Like, I feel like at this point, if it's not confirmed, like it is what it is. As a community, you're not going to hear about it. And I feel like as a community, we need to understand like that's how it has to work at this point of the stages. And I feel like we have to also stop hyping up ourselves off of.
All right, I lost you guys. Give me a minute. I literally want this Zoom thing to be done. I guess this is the button I want to use. Give me a minute again, guys. I am sorry. I don't know if it's my GPU or what it is, but my computer does not like Zoom. Doesn't matter if I run as administrator or not, it does not work. So it works if I'm not the one running the Zoom itself, but if I'm running Zoom, it doesn't like me.
That's pretty cool.
All right. Sorry, guys. The Zoom just crashed itself there again. So,
All good.
all right.
So
So
sorry,
yeah, you were saying F6. You were talking about how we are hyping up ourselves as well, and we gotta control that. Is what you were saying.
And I do want to point out something. Big Doinks was like console hype was going back to the beginning of the year. The console hype, like I said, the blame is still on both ends. One was Amato saying like we can't wait for console. The other hype was a bunch of us are saying, oh man, console's coming, yada yada yada. And then Crashy was like, this is on them, it's their game, they set the expectations. That is false. They set their expectations.
I don't disagree. I disagree with you. I don't disagree with what chat's saying. We can't hype up if they don't hype us up.
I disagree with that.
I don't agree with that. So
Paragon
what I'm saying, okay,
being
so
on console 5 years ago means that anyone who played Paragon on console 5 years ago is infinitely hyping it up themselves. To play
Right?
Paragon.
No. Yeah, it's gonna come to console eventually. That's where F6's common sense comes in that situation. That was fine, but them putting it into them saying sooner rather than later. It doesn't matter if it's before season 3 or after season 3. Them saying them putting those tweets out with the controller and the monkey emote, like though that is them teasing it. Those are hyping. That's hyping up console when it's not needed.
Let me further explain. Like I said,
I'm just saying I disagree with you. You can explain all you want. It's not going to make me. It's going to change my mind.
I didn't explain this explanation. Yes, it would.
No, it's not.
If I finish my explanation,
100%. I guarantee.
What I'm saying is,
let him cook. Hold up, man. Let him cook.
Just because it's their game, I do understand whatever they say, whatever they do to create a hype around something, that is on them. But there's also the aspect of, as consumers, we look at something and we make it a bigger deal than it should be. For instance, the new UI. I not in one single time was like, this new UI is going to be cracked or like out of its mind. I was like, this is going to be a new interface and it's not going to change a thing. What do we get? A standard user interface is not going to change anything. But there's a lot of people out there that hyped up the UI to be something. Yes, Omega has a part of it because obviously Ace was like, hey, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. But also
blog
at the same
post.
time, yeah, they're excited about it, right? So at the same time, they have their own expectations as in like, it's great for the company. So as from like their perspective, that was a great thing. From them building a game and their development side of things, that was great for them. But was it great as in the same aspect as a consumer? No. So that's what I'm saying. There's different expectations that people come up with. And just to say that it's just Omeda's fault that there's these unreal expectations, no, I think it comes from both the community and it comes from Omeda to really set that precedence. And that's coming even from us at PREDCAST, whatever we're doing, like other podcasts, everything like that.
All right, you want me to say it now or you want me to wait?
Say what?
I completely disagree with you still. Your explanation, no. It's still, they fueled our, because we have the para-zombie like hopes, like, man, we just want our game back. They took that and they're like, hey, we're going to use that and we're going to fuel that. And then they kept everything going there. And by making those subtle comments, we're able to take that and we ran with it and we gave them the hype and we built up hype because of what they said. If they never said sooner than you think or other comments similar to that, then we're not good. Yes, we're going to talk. Hey, all right, yes, this game's going to come to console eventually. We have no clue when, not an idea. But when he comes out saying, hey, console sooner than later, sooner than you think, or console our plan for console is early season 3, and then it gets pushed back. You are giving us more hype when you don't have an answer.
Okay.
Until you have an answer, that's when you need to start talking.
What I'm saying is completely has nothing to do with saying Omeda is not at fault here. I'm not saying, like I said, I think it's a two-part situation. And the one analogy I'm going to bring up is a simple one. Let's just say you're back in your dating days. I know you're married, but you're going on a date and the girl sends you a message of like, it's going to be a fun night with a winky face, correct? That doesn't necessarily mean anything, right? All that says is just giving you a little bit.
All right, I lost him again, guys. Oh my gosh. Literally done. At what? We're gonna end the show here soon. I'm not dealing with this anymore. All right, I lost you. You winky face. We're back. Try it again. I have to end here soon because I'm almost done with dealing with this. So
You're all good. I just said everything and my throat hurts. But what I'm literally the whole entire point is everybody they're like, Omeda, sure, you can give them 90% of the blame, but there's still partial blame for you taking something, not you specifically, but like,
no, I get what you're saying.
Consumer and making it a little bit more. Though. Yeah, you specifically, Brandon. But yeah, there's always going to be some partial blame of like the community and the consumers making something a little bit more than what was actually said. And this is what it is.
All right, but even going off your, getting the text message of the winky face, if she doesn't give the winky face at all, then the mindset doesn't even go there.
Yeah, she should have gave the winky face.
Right, so that's where the blame is. That's the blame. You don't blame the person that goes off of the winky face and hypes something up or starts to thinking something else. The blame is the initial start. If you don't make that start, the rest of it doesn't happen. There's nothing else going on there.
Not necessarily, dude. Like,
What do you mean not necessarily? If I just said, what do you
What I'm
mean?
saying is, you take something and you make it into something bigger just because you took something that somebody shouldn't have said. But then after that, you
That's
take
the
that and you
blame.
make it into
No,
something
there's no
bigger.
more. There is no
Okay.
more. Don't say it. That's it. That's all it is, man. If you don't say that, nothing else can happen.
I think
You're
there is
literally going off of just like, oh no, you should have just said this, and then nothing is that. That is not how it works. Literally, you're going in to take a message and you're making it a little bit more than what was actually said. You're still wrong for doing it, even if the message was wrong. Just because you're not entirely at fault and you didn't cause the situation, if you go into a situation and you do something bad, it is still bad.
I okay.
1,000,000% disagree. All right, go ahead, Pinzo.
Let me step in for half a second. Okay. I think that there is obviously I think that there's I would say the majority of the blame would be Omida, but I think that there is an air of them not knowing, right? And this is another thing that again, new studio, right? This is something that they're learning the hard way right now.
100%.
They were teasing something that wasn't 100%, right? Which is to me the better analogy would be like your mom, you're driving home and your mom's like, yeah, we're gonna have like spaghetti tonight, I got all the stuff for spaghetti, and you get home and you're out of spaghetti sauce. She's like, damn, I thought I had some spaghetti sauce, right? She thought she had it. It was something she was confident on, and then you don't get to have spaghetti. You get to have like a sandwich or something, right? And that's not what you wanted. It's not it. They were very confident, and it backfired, right? It's something that they're going to have to learn from in the future, right? A small studio, they're going to make some mistakes. I'll give them. They made some before? Sure, yeah, whatever. But I think that it's just they have to learn, and again, they're learning it the hard way, that they can't tease something that's not 100%, right?
Right.
Which is just a bummer.
No,
it stinks to learn it that way. But if you're not positive, then it's just
that 1,000,000% that I disagree with F6. I'm gonna put the agree on your side. Like everything you just said, 100%. That's can't blame somebody. Or it doesn't matter. We're just gonna go in circles, and then we'll just end it there. So it's I completely agree with what you said, Pinzo, and then again, they need to learn from it. The issue here is that it's almost like they're taking forever to learn. Like they put their hand on a hot stove, and it's like, oh, that hurt. All right, well, okay, instead of using the hand, I'm going to use just my finger now. And it's like, oh, it hurt. Like, no, like it doesn't matter. It's like instead, like you're learning slower than what you should be. Like a lot of things, things should be, again, it was brought up when we had Alex on. Learning from other people's mistakes. Fault did this. Fault did all of this, hyping things up and getting things ready, but it didn't actually happen the way they wanted it to. They did all of this. Like, learn from other people's mistakes. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Let's just make the wheel. Let's go. Let's make our version of it. Like, it doesn't have to be reinvented. Put a cooler spinner on it. I don't care, but it doesn't have to be a whole new wheel. Learn from people's mistakes and let's get a better product. I come from a passionate side of this because I want the game to be successful, but I'm sitting here and I'm watching a community go from being Pred fanboys to being like having no faith in the developers because of everything's getting pushed back, and I don't want to see that happen. I want these developers to get the praise they deserve for the things that they are doing. And there's a lot more in this blog post that we weren't able to go over because, again, I don't want Zoom to crash on me again. And we're getting come up to our time anyways, but it's like, damn it, dude. I just want great things to happen for Predecessor and Team Meta. And I feel like it's not going that way.
They should just stop telling us anything, to be honest with you. I think if you don't tell us anything that's not confirmed, then you just, nobody can complain. And
you know what I want back? The blog posts that we got like 3 months ago where they were like interviewing random people from like the Omida staff. and just like talking about what they do at Helmeta. Like
Yeah,
that was a really good way for them to give us a little bit of info and then still have a blog post where they get to like talk about some other things, right? They don't have to drop, you know, stuff that's not 100%, right? They gave us some information that they could give us, you know, where they're at on certain things. But then they're like, hey, also, this new guy's here, and we're going to talk to him. We're going to interview him a little bit about what he does and what he's working on. Like, I thought those little blog posts, I thought those were good.
Windu says they are trying their hardest. Their teasing and free marketing has been on point, in my opinion. But if they were that confident, that means they didn't see this delay coming. Didn't see this delay coming, which worries me even more. And it does. It worries me as well. Like all I want is great things to happen. I feel like they're like one big patch away to then all of a sudden just smooth sailing, and it's not happening. Crashy points out they have a great website. You know, they teased a new website with a blog post, and the website does look good. It does look, it's going to be great. So, I want great things for him. I am hoping we can get a few more answers. I don't want any hype. I want answers. I want we got Robbie coming on next week. And I'm hoping we get a few more answers and understand how things might be looking or whatever. You know, maybe a little more in the process of what's going on with Sony and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll you know, we got them coming.
The last thing we want, because we literally are just ripping them apart for the same exact thing we just complained about them doing. I'd rather him come on here and be like, this is what we know is coming, and that is it. Because literally we're gonna run into the same
whatever, dude. Oh my gosh, no.
Oh my goodness.
I want answers. I want answers, not hype. If you give me an answer is an answer. That's a known thing. That's what we're asking for.
If the answer is sorry, I can't talk about that, is that acceptable?
That's fine. If that's what it is, that's what it is.
Okay, do that, Robbie.
I don't know what to do with you, man. I have no clue. But anyways, we're gonna have to end it here. So I don't know what's going on. But I appreciate everybody being here. Pinzo, F6, do your outros, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, guys, I'm Pinzo. Again, stream daily on Twitch 2 Eastern. I upload YouTube videos daily. I don't really have anything super cool coming up. I mean, I guess we have Wraith on Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, yeah, just kind of hanging out, doing some of this, doing some of that, playing some Pred, hitting the queues. You guys know how it be.
How it be?
You know how it be.
It do be rough. But yeah, Jared Boy F6 stream over on Twitch. Do some YouTube videos, do some casting as well on PCC side of things. And that's yeah, some of my pins are just kind of in queues waiting for people not to actually, was it message to the community, please don't go AFK. I think 2 days ago I had like 5 matches in a row with somebody AFK. Just play it out. I'd rather you just go on 75. At least have somebody there to be like a meat shield or something. But other than that, yeah.
All right. As for myself, I will be back again next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Everything will be like normal next week. Predcast will be again Wednesday. Next week, we'll have Robbie on. That'll be 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll have him on. We'll talk more what's going on. We'll try to get more answers out of that. And then you'll see me grinding on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. You'll see me grinding Predecessor, trying to unlock Wraith eventually to get towards that point. But other than that, appreciate everybody here hanging out. If you're watching this on the YouTube version, again, the YouTube version is going to be going live tomorrow around noon Eastern Standard Time. If you are watching on that, you can leave a GG. Please leave a GG to let us know you watched this far. Also, leave a like to help the algorithm with that. Let's get that going. And appreciate all the support, you guys. Everybody here hanging out, watching this. Everybody watching live. Everybody watching it on the numbers on YouTube are looking great. So constantly keep doing what you guys doing. And we'll see you all on the next one. Peace.
Oh, he's here. The last second.